Okay, so let's talk about embracing pain and doing deep inner work. Hello, if you are new here, my name is Ebony. I'm a human design reader, expert, and coach. And on this channel, we learn about human design and gene keys in order to reclaim our power, prioritize our pleasure, and create the freedom-filled lives that we desire. Now, in this series of videos, I'm going through the process that I personally used for myself and with my clients in order to help them reconnect with their body, let go of their fears, start to trust themselves and their intuition, get in touch with their human design authority so that they can start to make better and more aligned decisions and create time and financial freedom. Now, this is the third step. So if you haven't seen the first two videos, you might want to start there because you don't want to jump in right here. It's going to be deep. So if you're interested in going deeper with me specifically on this work, I am currently offering free clarity calls. So if you are interested in doing this with me, the link for that will be down in the description box below. So this is where things start to get a little bit emotional, right? And that is because we as humans, we have an interesting relationship with pain. We don't like it, right? We don't want to feel it. We don't want to have it. We want to avoid it at all costs. However, I want to say one of the most important parts of this process is shifting your relationship to pain, because the fact of the matter is, in life, pain it's going to happen. It's necessary. What's not necessary is suffering. And the thing is, we kind of conflate those two things. Oh, pain and suffering, pain and suffering, pain and suffering. No, there's pain and then there's suffering. So during this phase of the process, this is when we are really embracing our pain. We're embracing our pain, we are shifting our relationship with it, and we're starting to understand and transcend it. Because the thing is, you can release something and you can let go of something so much easier when you have simply allowed when you've allowed it to have a voice, when you allow it to just kind of exist and do what it came here to do. You get to move on after that. The problem is we don't want to move on. We don't want to feel it, so we try to avoid it, which keeps us from actually being able to let it go. So we just hold it, and then it gets stored in our bodies, and then we disconnect, and now we're back at, part one of this process, right? So in this step, we're feeling it. We're embracing it. We're shifting our relationship with it, right? And this can look like a lot of things, right? This could be building on the inner child work that we talked about in the second video. This can look like releasing the identities that you've been holding on to. This could look like becoming aware of your triggers, right? Coming to terms with your emotions and developing emotional responsibility and emotional integrity. Those are really important things that not a lot of people in the world are doing right now, right? There's still this kind of overarching theme of that person made me feel this way, or that thing outside of me made me feel this way. Personally, in my opinion, as a coach, as someone who has not only done this work for years for other people, but also with myself, that's not actually the case, right? There's nothing outside of you that's making you feel something. It's always your response to that external stimuli that's causing the emotion, right? Because if someone came up to you and they said something to you that you don't believe is true, that you have absolutely no emotional attachment to whatsoever, it's not going to affect you, right? You're just gonna be like, you're crazy, right? Like if someone came up to me and said, oh my God, you're so tall, it makes you ugly. I'm like, I'm 5'4". What are you talking? What? But if someone came to me and said something like, oh, you're not good enough to coach people, you're actually a terrible coach, that would trigger an emotional response in me, because that is something deep down somewhere that I believe is true on some level, right? So that's a trigger for me. But that person didn't make me feel that emotion. That person didn't make that response in me. It was always there. And that external stimuli is what brought it to the surface. So what we're doing in this phase of the process is we're becoming aware of those things. We're becoming aware of the shadow, right? This is where shadow work could come into play. And I have a very interesting process when it comes to shadow work, human design, and gene keys, which I will probably share in another video. But this is where we're doing that. This is when we're starting to take responsibility for our emotional responses, for our emotional triggers, for the identities that we have been holding on to that have been causing these triggers, right? And what this does is take us out of the role of victim, take us out of the role of being the effect, and put us right into the role of being the cause. Because when we are the cause, when we embrace, when we take responsibility for all of the things, we have now increased our personal power. We have now put ourselves in a position where we can stop being shifted and swayed and affected by all of the things that are happening outside of us, including the people. So this is a really, really important step of the process, but it is the third step, right? We don't just jump and see what we're now talked about this. What a lot of people are doing and have been doing and will probably continue to do is they want to jump right into this step. And then they wonder why, they're constantly depressed, or they're stuck in this negative spiral, or they're not moving forward, or they're not healing. It's because you jumped into step 3 and you skipped 1 and 2. So it's not to say that you can't do it, but it might take longer and it might be a lot more painful because you've overwhelmed your system with all of this stuff at once rather than doing it gradually. So that is the third step in my process of reconnecting to your body, letting go of your fears, connecting with your intuition, your instincts, your human design authority. And this is where things really start to shift because you're in the nucleus of what's going on. You're starting to develop advanced awareness of the things that are going on in your body and how you can really start to shift from the role of being the effect to the role of being the cause, which increases your personal power. So I hope this was helpful. Again, if you are interested in going deeper into this work with me specifically, go ahead and click the link in my description box to sign up for a free clarity call, and I will see you in the next video.